Hey y'all, and welcome back to another episode of Blunt Talk Podcast. Happy Friday. We made it through another week. This week was very busy for me. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. Every week is very busy for me. Now, I want to say welcome back to my Blunt Talk Podcast family, and of course, welcome the 105 Block family. Okay, hopefully at this point it is 6 o'clock p.m. You are either driving home or you made it safe to your destination, and you're just chilling, vibing, doing what you have to do. Now I know y'all are like, why are you so close? Well, today I'm doing something different. Today is recording day. It's Wednesday. It is currently 3:56 p.m. So as you know, every Wednesday I get ready to go to the Side B Noise Control on Ignimatic Radio, where we talk that hot shit. Okay. So what I have to do is I have to get ready to be there on time, and I start getting ready a little bit earlier. That way I can focus on my outfits. Well, today I actually have a visitor, so I actually want to go spend time with family before I go off to my second job. So why not get ready during my first job? Okay, my 9 to 5 is what invests into my dream. So you might see me, click onto different things and get myself together and move here and move here. And it's literally because I'm doing my makeup. I want to take y'all on the journey with me. I know a lot of the girlies on my Instagram have been loving the blush and everything, and they want to see how I do my makeup. So why not put it into a podcast episode? Chop shit with y'all as I become the baddest. Like, I already am the baddest, but I'm even badder. Okay. Now, before I continue, I want to shout out to the Sweet Boutique. I had to get my coffee today. As I just said, Wednesdays are fucking busy. I work a 9 to 5. I have the mom immediately after, and I have to record for Blunt Talk Podcast, and I have to get ready for Side B Noise Control. So I have to stay energized with the Sweet Boutique coffee. Now, I'm not going to lie. I try to go to Dunkin' Donuts, and it's not the same. This coffee is amazing, okay? And not only is it amazing, she's using her platform to stand up for what she believes is right, and what's not right is just administration. Clock it, but we're not going to get into that, okay? So, it has been a week. When I was planning this show, it was Friday the 13th. And so Friday the 13th, the energy was crazy. And I also feel like we had a Friday the 13th already previously, like within 2026. So if that is true, two Friday the 13th is absolutely nuts. But yeah, Friday the 13th was crazy. People's energies were all over the place. I have a funny story to tell y'all. And if you follow me on my social media, you probably already heard this story. But I'm going to tell it again for my family, for the people that don't follow me. Now, before I continue, I am going to, first of all, remove my pimple patch because what the hell? I woke up today and I had a small blemish, but I definitely buffed her out. Excuse me. And I'm back. But yeah, I definitely buffed her out earlier. Y'all will see I'm starting with my brows already done. I thought I had a meeting today at work, so I didn't want to be too hit. So I did my brows earlier. But I'm starting with my Fenty primer just to make sure, you know, everything is good. I'll start off. This is LA Girl color. Well, LA color. Got this from Family Dollar, and it is the orange to cover up the blemishes. I have been using Korean skincare, and I have been trying to get my blemishes right here under control. They have minimized, but just because I want a seamless transition, a seamless face, I'm going to cover her up a little bit. Don't mind me. I'm looking at my mirror right here. So I'll definitely be changing the angles, but I want to be up close so y'all can see the magic that's about to happen. Okay. But anyway, last Friday I encountered my first fucking remote beef. Like as y'all know, I work remote, and I work remote so that I could do I could work on my business, be here for my family. I'm not too far away. You know what I'm saying? So as I was working remote, I encountered my first little beef. Now I don't know if you guys remember, but last episode I was talking about how I've been super busy. Like I've been super busy, which also caused me to be super sick. That's what I really want to say. Was I've been super sick. I don't know why busy came out. But I've been super sick. Sidebar. Ladies, when you put on your foundation, I find it easier to tap as opposed to smudge. Like the skin absorbs the medication to make it better when you tap like this. Okay. So yeah, I was super sick. As y'all know, I'm a mama of two, and my two got me fucking sick because kids be nasty as fuck at school. Okay, so my two got me sick. So y'all that know my life because y'all follow me on Instagram, like I'm gonna keep saying, I work for health insurance and I work in customer service, right? So I'm a part of the escalation team where I take escalated calls from irate members or just people that want to talk to someone that is higher up than the average customer care. So as I'm working, I got an escalation call. Now I'm sick. On top of that, my tone isn't always going to be like, "Hey, yeah, happy to be on the phone." Like I talk regular. Like what? I talk regular. And also my QA scores literally fucking reflect that. They always tell me to sound chipper, basically sound like a cheerleader, and that's just not what I'm about. I sound like Squidward, and my mama always said I used to get in trouble for my tone all the time. So that leads me to say this. So this girl took it upon her fucking self to put in the chat with all the supervisors. All the supervisors were in that chat. She decided to put in that chat, um, hey, escalations team, when we are transferring a member for an escalation call, please answer the smile. Please answer the phone with a smile. That's how we have to when it comes to talk to these customers. Bitch, not you trying to sub me. Like, put an at on it next time, ho. Anyways, so what I did was I wrote back and I basically said, "Oh, girl, I'm sick and I sound like Squidward. Forget about it." That's like never gonna happen, right? And do you think she responded back? No. But in black people language, that was me checking her temperature because, bitch, who are you feeling like? And why are you feeling like you can sub somebody? You could have easily wrote me on the side and said, "Do we have a problem?" Mind you, I'm always helping this girl. And she always has the most easiest questions. So it's like, girl, did you even fucking try to apply yourself? You feel me? So it's not like I'm annoyed or nothing. But like at the same time, it's like, girl, what the fuck? Like, are you cool? So she tried it and tried to get an attitude. And of course, I checked it because that's just who I am. And on top of that's just who I am, it's getting nice outside. And I'm starting to feel like myself. Like, I'm starting to feel like the baddest bitch. Okay. Sorry, sidebar. I'm just putting a little bit more to cover up those dark spots that didn't really get covered a little bit. I'm just going to tap it in a little bit more. But you see the blendedization of it? Yeah, this shit eats. That's why you tap. You tap, 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 tap. So, people's energies were just crazy. And aside from that girl trying it and trying me, um, people like the customers were just crazy rude. And I was like literally over it. Like, honey, be nice to me or don't be nice to me at all. Okay. And I'm sorry, I'm all elevated and like my head gets chopped out. I'm literally as close so that y'all can see the transformation. Not much of a transformation because I'm the baddest, but I want y'all to see the transformation. I want y'all to get into everything. Just gonna help my beginner girlies with their makeup because I didn't know how to do makeup 2 years ago, last year, a couple months ago. And now I know how to do my makeup and I'm upgrading my makeup stuff, like my makeup bag. I'm upgrading myself to get the real deal stuff. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do e.l.f. concealer. I'm going to put it underneath my eyes and around my mouth to do that brightening stuff. Um, yeah, so we're just going to do that real quick. And as you see clearly, I'm the type of girlie that does their eyebrows first because I just feel like eyebrows being done last is kind of crazy because it leaves room for mistake. Okay, so I like to brighten up my mouth a little bit. We're just gonna let that sit for a little bit. I'm gonna talk to y'all like this, but I want to let it sit and dry out just a teach. So yeah, that was that. Friday the 13th was crazy. Usually it doesn't affect me like that, but like it was like my systems at work were fucking up. People's attitudes were pissing me off, and I'm not the one to have attitude with. Like you have attitude with me, we finna be forever. So now I'm in this remote home beef with this girl that I genuinely did like. Now I'm gonna beef with you forever because you tried it. and you don't try me like that. Like, you try me like that, we are going to be forever. Okay. So that's what I want to talk about when it comes to Friday the 13th. Now we're going to get into what's on your timeline. So, one thing that has been on my timeline that I have been absolutely positively loving, loving is that challenge where it is the what were you like in the 90s. Oh my God. I'll be sure to include a video right here for y'all to see. But I absolutely love that challenge because that challenge is literally like putting people that I forgot about that were in the 90s and all the movies and shows I like, they're putting them back on my timeline. But also it's showing y'all like the glow up and the black don't crack, baby. Like, did y'all see more Chestnut Finance? Regina Hall? Was it Regina Hall? No. Nia Long? Oh my God. I love all of that. I'm gonna make sure to put the video right there for y'all. Definitely, definitely, definitely love this challenge. One of my favorite challenges. Now, I was getting mad when I was scrolling and they turned the challenge into trolling. Like, it was like people that it was it turned into what did you look like in the 90s to who is my celebrity twin, and I literally hated that for us because it was such a good challenge. Like, it was literally such a good challenge. Sidebar. Still with that same method of dabbing. I'm just dabbing in my under eye concealer and I'm bringing it down. I don't like too much around my eye. And I definitely don't want to get it in my lashes to make it because I want my lashes to last as long as possible. So I do that little dab method and I bring it up and out. That way it sort of kind of elongates my eyes. If that makes sense. Or like brings it up as opposed to bringing it down. You know what I mean? Mind you, TikTok University taught me how to do my makeup. And I just got better makeup brushes. Because makeup brushes definitely does matter. That's just a little sidebar from my newbie. So don't be going to the dollar store and trying to get the white and pink makeup brushes. Those are not good. They absolutely suck. That's what I was using when I first started to do my makeup, and I realized those are awful. So I went to Sephora and I got the set like this. And it was like $60 for a beginner set. But back to the thing. So yeah, once we started trolling and doing that whole my twin thing, I absolutely positively hated it. But I definitely did love that challenge because again, it just puts in perspective and it also, lets you remember like who was all around in our 90s. Like, I'm not gonna lie, the 90s was the best acting era for me. Like, the best people were out and about at that time. Okay. Um And it just also puts in perspective that a lot of these actors are her and him, and we forgot about it. Like, the time just flies back. Time flies by fast, so we don't even really remember like all that we really were watching and digesting. Okay, now another topic that I immediately wanted to get into for what's on your timeline. Now, this is where late night scrolling on TikTok, I don't want to say goes wrong, but like keeps me up at night. Okay. So there was a video that surfaced on my TikTok, same like that challenge, but there was a video that surfaced on my TikTok of this lady who had chicken butt in her hair. And she went to a salon and she requested that the pregnant stylist wash the chicken blood out of her hair. Now, the chicken blood brought the people into a frenzy. Like, the chicken blood really, really got the people going. Like, they were irritated that that was even a thing. And they were irritated because that was even a thing is because that is believed to be witchcraft. Like, they didn't have a positive connotation with chicken blood. They believed it was sacrificial. So they were like, so the reason why I brought it into an uproar is because shortly after the lady washed that lady's hair, shortly after the hairdresser washed that lady's hair with the chicken blood in it, her baby died. Remember, I told you at the beginning she was pregnant. All right. So the baby died. And so people in the comments were like, oh, she planned that. She did that on fucking purpose. I cannot believe her. Blah, 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 blah. So before the girl came out and basically spoke her piece on it, people in the comments were just literally going insane. But I wanted to look it up to before I give you the response. Sorry, my brain's all over the place. I'm doing so much. Um, before I read her response, I want to let you guys know what I looked up. So I wanted to look up basically the meaning behind chicken blood, period, because I'm not too privy on that. If you guys don't know, I grew up with Jehovah's Witness, so I didn't really do my research, regarding um, voodoo stuff, because that was frowned upon. Being a Jehovah's Witness, like you don't look into stuff like that. Like you don't welcome that energy into you, right? So I completely was like, let me do some research before I join the bandwagon and get upset at this poor lady for showing up to this shop um, to get her hair washed, right? So chicken blood symbolizes in some rituals the sacrifice of chicken is a part of a cleansing as it's meant to remove negative energy, bad luck, and spiritual blockages. It represents life, force, sacrifice, and communication with the spiritual world, right? So I wanted to look that up because she responded and she said, I keep getting blocked every time I defend myself, but I am the girl in the video. I do practice Santeria, but I do not do any evil. I just wanted to get my hair done before my passport pick and needed a spiritual cleanse before that. I left it in because I did not know she was behind on heads. I needed to leave it in for an hour, and if I would have known that, I would have waited. I had I have no reason to sacrifice anything. I look crazy because I was high as fuck and running around all day. No bad energy tied to me, no matter how y'all try to paint it. We did not expect the negative attention. So she was just saying here, yes, I do practice a form of voodoo, but not all voodoo has what's it call it? Not all voodoo has negative connotation. And she was doing it as, sorry if you see me going in and out the views because I'm trying to get my life together and do this makeup. Sidebar. I'm going to do another light layer because I have really bad black bags. I'm just going to do and do to make sure that it's all covered. Back to the story. And I'm going to let it dry. Back to the story. So she was like, I didn't mean to spark all this negative energy. I was just trying to get all that, negative um, energy off me as I branch out into my new my new life, or this new chapter, if you will. And so I just feel like because people are very much so ignorant when it comes to certain things and they're not going to do the research, I would have just, to avoid all the negative backlash, I would have just immediately like not posted that, or even one better, because you never know someone's personal beliefs. So I would have definitely maybe not have went in there with the chicken blood. I would have washed it up myself before I went in there. I would say, oh, okay, you're behind on heads. Well, then I'll be right back. How long do you need? Or how long do I have before I could wash it out? Or if she was there with somebody, I would have just immediately seen if they could help me wash it out while she was in the sink to help her. Like, there's nothing. There's nothing to do that, especially because you don't know. Well, I'm lying. I looked it up because the lady was pregnant. So I wanted to see if the chicken blood would have any type of negative effects towards her pregnancy, and it's not. So it's not like she was putting that lady in harm's way or anything. It's just she was trying to do a spiritual cleanse, and the world took it and ran with it. Now, my question is, why do people believe that voodoo is so bad? Like, what I want people to do, and I'm only asking because I feel like some of us practice voodoo and don't even know that they're practicing it. Like with the third eye or the all-seeing eye, with the hand. I don't know what that is called right now. Sorry. Uh-oh. Got it in my eye. Let's hope it doesn't fucking um whatchamacallit, make my eye watery, because Lord knows whenever I do my makeup, I get my eyes watery. Okay, so this is the look with just the concealer, making it bright in certain places, and then still that stuff that covers up the black parts. Now we're going to add our foundation. Now, I know you see I'm mixing products. I don't have all one line. I used to use a Fenty foundation, but I wanted to get something more lightweight and a little bit more lightweight for me. Like, I liked the Fenty foundation when I had it, but I wanted to try something else. And also, at the time where I brought makeup, I just didn't have the Fenty prices. So I went to Sephora and I got this one. It is super good. I love it. Um, I shake it up. And then I'm going to put it on the back of my hand here. Oh my God. I forgot I broke it. So I have to do it like this. I open it. Hope it doesn't spill everywhere. And I just put it on the back of my hand. Like so, like that. Because I don't like to use a whole lot of makeup. Like I still like my skin to be able to breathe. So I'm just going to do another little swatch right there. So for me, this is how it looks. But if I did it and I squirted it, it would be two little pumps. And then I grab my foundation brush and I take my e.l.f. Makeup Mist and Set and I shake this up too. And then I spray it on my brush. That way I sprayed it on there. And as the foundation is oxidizing on my hand, I'm going to just wave this around so that the mist doesn't become too wet. But yeah, I just feel like people practice voodoo and they don't really know that they're practicing it. And because it has a negative connotation, they're just going to go based off of what everybody else says. I also don't think people do the proper research to do anything. And I feel like they're going to go based off of what the masses are saying. So if the masses are like, girl, you're wrong, I feel like people on TikTok are going to go with the majority and be like, nah, sister, you're dead ass wrong. Right? Okay. So another thing that I wanted to talk about, because it's getting crazy. Okay. It's just getting crazy. So there was a pastor. There was actually two pastors. But I don't think I'm able to find the other clip. If I am, I'm just gonna push this back so my watch doesn't get in the way. If I am able to find that other clip, I'll be sure to put it in. But basically, there was a video where a pastor, one of the pastors was like, I'm getting sick of y'all playing with me and God. I want a copy of y'all taxes to see if you guys are holding out on your 10% of tithes, right? And then another pastor was basically saying how you need to prioritize tithes just like you prioritize groceries, daycare bills, phone bills, and your mortgage. Okay. And what he was saying was you only give the 10th first to someone that can help you.
I pay. My tithe is what? 100. So, man, I got to pay my daycare. They're going to kick my kid out. Here we go. All right. Also, I need to pay my phone bill because T-Mobile about to cut me off. Grocery. I got, my kid's hungry. Oh, the Lord. Oh. Here's the Lord. Here's your $100, Lord. Thank you. And then here's my mortgage payment. Now, you say, well, Pastor, that's good. That's not good. Now, see, here's the difference. I'm helping somebody right now because if you just switch the order, you will see some increase come. Most people do what I just did. Watch this. They gave a tenth to the Lord, but they didn't do it first. We gave him a tenth, but this is how you can give a tenth and not give it first. But the scripture says the first one is what? So I done gave my money to somebody, holy money. I done gave it to the phone bill people. And you only give the 10th first to somebody who can bless you. So let me y'all give me my money back. Give me that. Give me this. Give me this. Give me this. Give me this. Thank you. Thank you very much. Now, this is what should have happened. So who should I give to first? The Lord. Switch places with somebody, Lord. So it don't matter where the Lord is on this. What matters is if whatever comes out first belongs to who? Okay, so here you go, Lord. And so watch this now. As I begin to pay other things, and let's say now it looks like I'm coming up short, God is obligated at that point to supply all of my need because he's supposed to do that because I've honored him with the first.
So basically, when it comes to tithing, for those of you who don't know, sidebar, I'm also just going to put a little bit more. As you see, I use it, and it doesn't help that I can't squirt it out on my hand, but I'm going to do a little bit more just to do a little bit more coverage, as you see. This is how it's looking so far. Eats. We're gonna go from there. This was probably a lot more than intended, but it is what it is. We're gonna work with it because I'm also pressing it in. And I'm also doing that dab it. As you see, I do the dab it method through the whole entire face. I don't do none of that smearing stuff. Do you want to press it in? That's what Chloe's on TikTok taught me. Okay, back to the subject at hand. So if you didn't know, tithing is basically a way to show that you believe in your faith, you have gratitude, you're obedient to God, and you support the church for the community. For those of you who don't know, tithes help fund the work of the church, including paying pastors, staff, maintaining the church building, supporting charity and community outreach, and then funding the ministry programs like, the youth programs and things of that nature, right? As a sidebar before I go off the deep end, not all Christian denominations require exactly 10%. Some encourage general giving or offering instead of the strict tithing, right? But if you have it and you're baptized and like you're following that faith and that is what you do, then you are expected to do that. Like, and even I remember at a church that I used to go to, they would have a little board where it would put where you are with your tithe so that you can see who's in the lead and who's donating what, and just basically like a friendly competition that I never understood. Because again, I grew up with Jehovah's Witness. I don't remember us doing tithes. Like I remember us going into, there was a little bucket when you walked into the old Kingdom Hall where it was like right in front where you could put money in if you chose to. So sometimes my grandma would, let me put in $1 or $2 or $5, but it never was 10%, like ever 10%. So when I started going to the church, and this is what initially scared me off, was the requirement to put 10% in. And I understand the meaning of it, but I'm gonna just be real. In this economy, people don't even have 10%. People in this economy, people are fighting between paying bills and buying groceries, rent or food, rent or lights. People aren't really privy or have the ability to literally give 10% of their income. And I just think it's sort of kind of crazy for, pastors to sort of kind of reinforce it. And then now it's like sort of kind of, I'm going to ask you for your documents to ensure that you guys are not holding out on me. And it's like, are they holding out on you or are they holding out on the Lord? And why are you weaponizing basically the Lord to damn get tithes? Like, it's sort of kind of crazy. Like, there should be another way to sustain the church way of living instead of really relying on the people that go to the church. And I want to bring it back to when Drewski dropped that skit, and the skit was basically of pastors driving nice cars and saying they're going to lock the doors until they receive their tithes, and they're looking for this amount of tithes at the moment. It's like the Christian community got upset, but then the pastors will turn around and do this, and it wasn't no skit. Like, they were dead ass. Like, I'm going to ask you for your taxes. I'm going to, require you to provide me with that documentation so I don't make sure you're holding out. And it's sort of kind of like, since you have all the money, why don't you donate a lot? You know what I mean? So maybe that's just me being from a different religion and not really understanding it. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of things that I don't understand, and that's why I'm gonna be real. I choose personally to not subscribe to it because I still go get the word. But I'm not going to go out my way to try and join a church because I'm scared that they're going to require me to give them this money all the time. And it's like, I'm just here for the word. Like, I'm just here to make sure that I am aligned, that I'm getting the word, that I'm still being in tune with my God. And I don't want to feel like I'm losing out or feel like I have to do something so that I can ensure I get the word and I'm not judged upon it. You know what I'm saying? So I just find that really funny. And again, I'm going to reiterate, the Christians were upset when Drewski did that did that skit where he was making fun of the pastors. I always found it funny. I thought that was exactly how it is painted. And if you don't want to paint it like that, maybe y'all should do something different. Don't shoot the messenger. This is just from the outside looking in. Um, Before I get into the next topic, get into it. I'm getting closer for y'all, so you can't see my head. I'm sorry, but basic B. I know my lips are ashy. Somebody once told me that your makeup is going to eat down when your lips are looking pretty ashy. So, good start. This is just again the orange cover up, the concealer under my eyes and around my mouth, and then my foundation, which is clearly full coverage. So, and then I know you see me switch from my foundation brush to this brush. This brush used to have some of my pressed powder on here. I don't have any more pressed powder. Literally, I don't have any more pressed powder. So I'm just using the little bit that is on my brush to just push it in a little bit more and get rid of the oil because I do have oily skin. Okay. Hey y'all, as you know, spring and summer is right around the corner. So I know you're ready to step up your sunglasses game. Don't worry, Big Cousin Randy has a deal that you cannot resist, okay? What I need y'all to do is I need y'all to go to akila.la and shop for your sunglasses and also use discount code BBT to save you 10%. Don't worry, I put the website right there. Go ahead, shop, and tell them Randy sent you to get your savings. Bye. Now, another topic I want to get into is, and mind you, this is still on what's on your timeline segment. Clearly, social media was acting up last week, and we have to rectify things here. Um, the next topic that we're going to get into is just as juicy as my Fenty blush, which I'm about to put on now and get into this blush, ladies. So this is the Bubble Band 11 Fenty Cheeks. I got this from Marshall's. A little makeup hack. Please go visit Marshall's TJ Maxx for makeup needs because they really have some really good brands for the low. Like, yes, we love Sephora. Yes, we love Ulta. But TJ Maxx and Marshalls, we have in the fines. And wait until y'all see how I put this on and how it just eats up the face. Okay. Now, for the juicy topic. So, I don't think I talked about this last week, but did y'all see um Amy Luciano, aka Amber Howard and Dwight drama? Mm. Well, baby, I love her every time I put her on. I'm not gonna lie. But anyway, um, let's get into that because clearly them people have been cutting the fuck up. Okay, so on this saga, as we've seen Amber or Amy Luciano crying in her car, holding up bags of coke. We seen that the last time, right? We all caught a wind of that, right? And she was pouring it in her hand and wiping it in her face and getting high on the damn Instagram. We all seen that, right? Okay. Well, let's fast forward. Throughout the week, her and fucking Dwight Howard were playing games, calling the cops on each other. Okay. You had Amber calling the cops saying that she was locked out of her home, and he always does this when they get into an argument. And then he called the damn police, and he was talking about how she killed his fucking dog, and how she's jealous of the fucking dog, and how she's what is it? How she's stealing his jewelry and all this stuff. So they was playing on them people phone. Okay, they were playing. They were playing real bad on them people phone. Mind you, get into that. And yes, I bring it up and around because blush adds color and dimension to your face. But as you see, I will sit here and I'll buff it out just because, yes, we love the bubblegum pink, but no, we don't need it to be prominent on your face like that. Okay, we need to keep it cute and keep it classy. But anyways, then people was playing on them people phones so bad, and it's so embarrassing. Like it's so embarrassing because first of all, she left. Well, let me backtrack. This was happening after they filed for divorce. So after she went on Instagram, hooting, hollering, crying, wiping the coke in her nose and her eyes, he filed for divorce first. A lot of people did state that they would have filed for divorce first because, he has a legacy to uphold, and she's playing with that with the whole Coke situation, especially if she's alleging that it was his and how big that bag was. Okay. So after they filed for divorce, um, they've been calling the police. And I just feel like at this point, everything is going to be picked up with this couple because, first of all, not only is it hot news, but it's sort of kind of like crazy. Like, you want to see how the saga ended, especially because of how they weren't listening to the baby mama. Feel me? Like, the baby mama been put y'all on the G and ex wife. I mean, it's the same person, but put y'all on the G about how that nigga was. And of course, like I said on last Wednesday of the side B noise control, is a new girlfriend and a new wife. I hate them. Like, I hate them so bad because they think that, one, it will never happen to them, and two, they believe that the other person, the ex, is always lying because they want to, I don't know, think that they got the best person in the world. So, like, this could have all been very much so avoided. Also, it could have been done in private. Like, we don't need to know that y'all are calling the police and y'all are doing all this extra shit and there's like turmoil in your home. Like, and then after that whole situation where he was accused of doing coke and a big bag of it, he was seen at the fucking game like this. Like, sir, it is not all fucking shits and giggles and happy times. Like, your wife is spiraling out of control and you're sitting here at a basketball game with your stupid ass ponytail. Yo, funky booty butt have an ass. You know? So I just wanted to update y'all on them niggas is still cutting up. And they cutting up real bad. Like, they cutting up so funky bad. Like, it's a problem how bad they cutting up. Like, for real. For real. They need to be fucking stopped. Okay. Get into that. You see how I beat that and blended that in for the gods? Because I don't want it too pinky. Well, I forgot to tell you, I also put some on my nose. Shout out to Mona Leo for that trick. It eats down. Again, it adds depth and sexiness to it. So that's what we're going to do right now. Right there. Try not to do too much, but is there such thing as too much blush? Like, I don't think so. I love blush now. Especially this blush. Mm, I love the blush. Okay, so now that that's done, I'm going to go back in with my smaller press and powder um, brush, and I'm just going to put some of that brown still in there, so it does like a seamless look to it. Like, you see how it looks like sort of kind of harsh and pink. I'm just gonna go through with the leftover residue, and I'm gonna just blend out the parts right here, just so that it's not like too much pink. Get back with it. I want y'all to see. And now, I didn't learn this from a makeup tech again, TikTok University. We're gonna do that. Put that in here, like so. See how I did that? Take some of it out. I'm a genius. Okay, so for the next topic, what I wanted to talk to y'all about is I want to spark a fact with y'all. I want to spark a fact with y'all because, as y'all know, I've been on this millennial parent kick where where I like to talk about the things that millennial parents are doing that the other generation parents are not doing or have not did, right? So on this Spark Effect, before I read the post, it says millennials are the last generation to obey their parents and the first to start listening to their kids. That's why they are carrying the weight of a generational shift. Now, I think that is super important because a lot of people are always talking about, and I said this before, a lot of people are always talking about how we're not parenting how our parents parented, we're soft and things of that nature. But it's not about being soft. Like, I want everyone to understand that when you have a kid, your kid is still a human, whether you like to treat them as such or not. And one thing that I grew up with was my mom not allowing me to express myself. It was what she said or the highway. And I just don't want my kids to grow up with that, because how it affected me as an adult was I was scared to verbalize how I felt. I always felt like I needed to sugarcoat it or my feelings were invalid. And I don't want my kids to grow up in a generation where their feelings are invalid. It's very important for them to know that their feelings matter, they are heard, and they're taken into consideration. So one of the things, I'm going to read all 13 slides, so follow with me, okay? I love this slide. Again, this was brought to you from Instagram. I will try to upload it for y'all to see. If not, just listen to me read. I know how to read pretty good. I read for fun. So it says millennials grew up in a different parenting system, a more authoritarian one. Rules were clear, questions weren't. Children were expected to listen, not to explain how they felt. In many homes, opinions were asked, reasons were explained, emotions were explored. One phase ruled everything, because I said so. And we all know that is true. Because I said so trumped everything. You know how many times my dad told me because I said so, or do as I say, not as I do? Please, okay? Now me being an adult is basically lead by example. Like if you don't want your kids to do something, you have to not do it, because they are going to mimic and basically, yeah, mimic everything that you do, right? Kids are sponges. But something changed when millennials became parents. They didn't just copy what they experienced. Many chose to do something different. And again, that's because of what we experienced. We don't like the feeling of not being heard. We don't like the feeling of our feelings being invalidated. We are very much so very emotionally aware people, and it's because of how we were treated when we were kids. This created a strange pressure. Millennials became a bridge generation. They understand authoritarian parents, but they're raising emotionally aware children. Two completely different love languages. Pressure comes from both directions. From above, in our day, kids didn't need explanations. From below, children expect respect, clarity, and fairness. And again, are they wrong for expecting that? They are children. How could we get off with disrespecting them or treating them as anything else than just such, right? They're also doing something deeper, healing their own childhood wounds so they don't repeat them. That's not simple parenting, that's nervous system work. You can see the shift in everyday language. Before, stop crying, it's now tell me what happened. Before, because I said so, now let me explain why. Before, don't be mad, now I see you're upset. Sociologists sometimes call them the healing generation. The first to normalize therapy, the first to openly discuss mental health, the first to intentionally break generational patterns. If you're a millennial parent and you're not just raising children, you're rewriting the system. And I think that is so important because, again, we know how it feels for certain things to be done to us, and we just don't want that to be done to our children. We want them to feel comfortable coming to us to talk to us about anything. We're not acting like they're friends. We are still parenting, but we're letting them know that we have to work through these emotions. We don't have to just put a Band-Aid on it and sweep it under the rug. I want to share that with you because I want to commend us millennial parents. As people think of us as soft and not listening, as people think of us as soft parents and not really being real parents, I think it's important to say that we are real parents. We're shifting what you guys know to be true. And that's just comes through, like I said, childhood traumas. And that's always going to play a factor in our life. If you're a psychology major, you know what I'm talking about. So now, as y'all know, I added the smoke and speculation. Segment. Sorry, I had a brain fart. And I wanted to follow up on a couple different things that we spoke about, right? Now, last week when we first debuted our smoke and speculation segment, we talked about Jeffrey Epstein. Now, I want to play 2 videos for y'all before we continue this conversation. And that's just because I believe that they are important as to why I said it last week we are underreacting. So I definitely want to play those for you. So take a look into those 2 videos and we'll be back.
Black woman philosopher once said,
"You do the math, you do the math."
So let's do the math, shall we? In the United Kingdom, Prince Andrew had all his royal titles stripped by King Charles, got evicted from the royal estate, and was arrested on his birthday today, making it the first time in modern British history that a senior royal had been detained in a criminal investigation, and all of that was because of his ties to Epstein. Also, Peter Mendelsohn, the UK ambassador to the US, was fired from his ambassadorship and resigned from the Labour Party entirely for sending Epstein supportive messages after his criminal conviction in 2008. And Morgan McSweeney, the UK Prime Minister's chief of staff, resigned because he approved Mendelsohn's appointment, knowing about the Epstein ties. In Norway, former Prime Minister Jagland stayed at Epstein's homes, visited the private island and is now charged with gross corruption, facing up to 10 years in prison. Also, Norway's ambassador to the UN, Mona Juul, who Epstein left $10 million to her children in his will, resigned her post and is now facing aggravated corruption charges. Also, the crown princess and wife of the heir to the Norwegian throne, who vacationed at Epstein's Palm Beach property and kept emailing him years after his 2008 conviction, had to publicly apologize to the entire country. In Slovakia, the national security advisor was caught in emails with Epstein discussing, quote, gorgeous girls, and resigned immediately. In Sweden, Joanna Rubinstein, chair of Sweden in the UN, was caught visiting Epstein's private island with her family in 2012, knowing about his conviction in 2008, and was made to resign. In France, former culture minister Jack Lang, who had years of correspondence with Epstein, detailed in the files, just resigned and is now under criminal investigation for tax fraud and money laundering. And in Dubai, Sultan bin Sulayem, chairman and CEO of DP World, one of the largest shipping companies on the fucking planet, resigned immediately after 2015 emails surfaced about him loving the torture video. But in the US, I'm supposed to believe that Trump escalating military and war tensions with Iran and posting this shit on Truth Social today about declassifying UFO and alien files is not a distraction from the fact that Donald Trump's name appears in those files more than anybody else, including 7 other members in his cabinet like Howard Lutnick, the Secretary of Commerce, Stephen Feinberg, the Deputy Secretary of Defense, John Phelan, Secretary of the Navy, Pam Bondi, of course, the Attorney General of the United States, Steve Bannon, a senior Trump advisor, RFK Jr., who's the Secretary of Health and Human Services, and motherfucking Dr. Oz. Making 1 out of every 3 members in Trump's ear and cabinet people with credibly documented ties to a convicted child sex trafficker.
President should step down. He should no longer be president. Anybody else in any other timeline, in any other time of history, this would immediately be incriminating and he would no longer be in a position of power. The accountant of JE, aka 007, said in a 7-hour deposition, yes, we paid out abusers on behalf of Trump. Do you understand what that means? That he's not exonerated. That not all these people are lying. That there's a lot of truth to these files. And that's why we started another war, because it's not Operation Epic Fury, it's Operation Epstein Fury. And people, we need to wake the fuck up, because this is crazy. Really, they were more than just arch nemesis, because what op do you know pays out your settlement to someone you abused? Unless you are a dynamic, Mephistophelian, freaky-ass, nasty-ass, hell is hot, hope y'all dress cold type of duo. Every day I wonder, what timeline could I possibly be in where the White House official account is posting we war highlights? It's like, yo, there's no way, son. Like, we have to be in a simulation. I don't know how I got here, but it can't be the real world. Not even the boys would cook this up. And the thing is, like, if I was watching a movie on a country that was just extremely propagandized, limited free speech, and just doing out-of-pocket iniquitous shit, this would be hilarious. I'd be like, damn, they posted weed highlights. But this is real life. This is my government. In history books, this is going to go down, and people are going to be like, how did Americans let that happen? I don't know. I'm trying to make it stop. At the same time, it's like, they don't care. They ain't new this. They true this. They don't give a fuck. They going to keep on moving, grooving, vibing, sliding however they want. And the limit is not just happening here. It's happening in Dubai, too. The UAE, I was wondering why videos just all of a sudden stopped and everything looked happy-go-lucky, like they was just copacetic. No, a British tourist, 60, filmed missiles on her phone where she's like, oh, what the, oh, dang, posted it. They arrested her. Why, you might be asking? Because she was panicking the public. Motherfucker, the missile was the panic. I am not inciting panic by sharing what I just saw in a missile exploding. You would think that's time to panic, but they're like, no. You understand? We need this country to look perfect and that everything is good over here. So you are getting charged and going to go to jail. And she's like, extradite me? What? Hello? What the fuck? I thought, no, not freedom of speech here. This is Dubai.
All right, so we are back. I just wanted to play those for you because I definitely think we are underreacting, especially if in other countries they are doing things like they are, like the people that were also involved in the Epstein files are stepping down and losing their ranks. Why aren't we doing the same? Like, why is it not the same outrage over here? I don't know, but hopefully it does change. Now, for a new smoke and speculation, there's actually something I want to talk about. So I don't know if y'all ever been up late nights scrolling on TikTok and y'all see people talking about how there is petrified or purified. I think it's petrified, aka big giants or big giant animals that are rocks now. But I've been finding a lot of those. Now, there was a fun fact that I learned, and I'll play the video for y'all as well. But basically, it states that the Mount Everest contains marine rocks, proving that at one point that was the highest point on Earth from the bottom of the ocean. I'm gonna repeat. Mount Everest contains marine rocks, proving that it was at one point the highest point of the Earth. Wait, let me get that together. Mount Everest contains marine rocks, proving that the highest point on the Earth was once the bottom point of the ocean. So what that means is that how high Mount Everest was, that was the bottom point of the ocean at one point, which will feed into what the Bible states about there being a big flood, about there being essentially giants that were on this earth. And then also, if you do a little bit more digging, you will see that certain islands look like big ass animals. Okay, like I seen an island that looked like a big ass elephant. There's also a like rock or something that looks like a big ass giant person sleeping. There was also a video on TikTok that I ran into that also looked like two big ass turtles. So during this smoke and speculation, I just want to ask, do you guys believe that there are petrified animals, that the big tree stumps were essentially big trees that were cut down? And that do you believe that animals can be formed into continents and islands from like the biblical days? Like, do you guys believe it, or am I digging too deep in the smoke and speculation? Y'all let me know. Because next week, the same way I came here and dropped 2 follow-up videos for Jeffrey Epstein, I'm gonna drop them 2 little videos of the damn big ass island looking like mammoths. Because if y'all don't stand with me, I'm gonna be very upset. Because I need y'all to open up y'all third eye. Okay, so that is all that I have for you this week. It was a juicy little week. I hope you guys liked watching me do my makeup for the radio show. I hope you guys know that I just have a couple more steps to do, but I want to stop to really give y'all my undivided attention. All I have to do next is put my setting spray on, and then I am going to do a little highlight, and I'm going to put it over the blush and on my nose. And then just to make sure that I am not too oily for today's radio show, I'm going to pat this on my oily spots, which is typically in between my eyebrows. I'll do around my mouth, and I'll do a little bit under my eye. That's just to basically freshen up my face. But yeah, I hope you guys liked this week's episode. Also, if you guys want me to talk about a specific topic, please write me, and definitely follow me on Instagram at _Blunt Talk Podcast. That way you can write me your listener topics. And yeah, stay tuned for next week because it's going to be a good episode. Bye.